all of the highlights that we've created from our different games, and it's going to allow us to kind of compare and contrast and see what we have. She's an outside back and forward, so there's a lot of different things we could look at here, compare and contrast, depending on what we want to create a reel from. Do we want to create it more around her forward position, her outside back position, or do we just want to get the most athletic physical video that she has? Just say we're making one overall. So let's actually jump down here. Could compare tackle. So I'm going to go with tackle, and now we've got our filter set to tackle, so we can see everything here that we've created and labeled as tackle. So if I scroll down, so let's do this. Let's compare this highlight with maybe this highlight. So let's start with this one. So let's play this highlight. There she is. Makes a tackle. Now she transitions onto offense. Player's tracking her down. She makes a pass to feet. Okay, so she makes the tackle, she transitions to offense, gets up the field, the player can't catch her, and she passes it up to her forward's feet. So in this highlight, you can see we've got pass, tackle, physicality, and dribbling. I think we could also have attacking transition on this one as well. So now let's come up and let's look at this highlight. So here we are in the video. Stops and makes a tackle. And now she, again, attacking transition, gets the ball, crosses it in, makes a good cross into the box. So what do we say? So both of these are really comparable. So in the first one, she gets the ball and she turns and makes it and dribbles up the field. So boom, makes the tackle, turns with the left foot, goes up the field, player chases her down. Although this is a field level video, it's still showing what we need to see, right? It's showing her and the movement around off the ball. So let's compare that again with the highlight here. So here she is in white. The player makes a touch. She blocks the pass. Now her teammate has it. She starts to transition up the field, makes the run, dribbles, plays the cross in. So both highlights show two different things, right? One shows the attacking transition, which is always good from defense. If you could show you on defense and offense in the same play, to show that transition, because this happens a lot at the higher level, and it's very important. If I had to vote and compare these two together, I would say that I like this play because once she makes the tackle, she makes the movement off the ball, receives it again, and then puts a dangerous cross into the box. Versus in the other play where there isn't any movement off the ball because she just has the dribbling on the ball. So in deciding which of these highlights I would put into my reel, honestly, it would depend on if I already had some dribbling in my video, then I would probably put the one with the cross. If I already had some really good crossing videos of me putting in some dangerous balls, then I would use the dribbling. So that's how it would kind of mesh in with the highlight reel that I was building. Now let's change our filter and let's stay on the defensive side and let's just look at our physicality. So here we are, she makes a header, and she moves off the ball. Now she gets the touch again, she's dribbling forward. She makes a pass. She gets it back, and here's where the physicality comes in. Player comes in on her, she pushes her off, keeps the ball, and makes the pass. So it just shows that physical contact she's gonna actually lean into. Instead of trying to run away from it, she's actually leaning into that and keeps the ball and keeps possession, and her team ends up getting a shot. So overall, the physicality here, plus all the other elements to this play of winning the ball in the air, then making the movement off, then making the off the ball movement up the sideline, and then the dribbling, shows all in all, a play like this has a high chance of making it into her reel. So let's look at this play here in comparison. She's in white, she steps in, wins the ball, the player is physically on her back there, and then she just touches it out of bounds. So in this play, she's still showing that she's physical. She got in between the player and the ball. These are good. This is actually really, really good defensive move from her that coaches probably want to see, right? Her getting in between the attacker and the ball, shielding it. She makes a smart move. She doesn't have anyone to pass it back to in the corner, so she just plays it out of bounds, but still really, really good defensive play. But if we compare that to the other physical play that we saw where she's getting on the attack, that one has a lot more to show. So if you had to pick one, I would definitely pick the one where she got onto the attack from the outside back. All right, step 4. add your best highlights to your reel. So now we're actually creating a reel out of those best highlights that we had. Now, without seeing you play, I can't tell you exactly what we go into your reel specifically. But we could say, for example, again, in soccer, if it's a forward, there are going to have to be some goal scoring opportunities there, right? You are going to have to show scoring some goals because that's the point, right? If you're a defender, obviously there needs to be tackles, big, strong tackles there, winning the ball off of attacking players. So these are kind of some things that's like, yeah, of course, this needs to go in there. But really, you have to kind of compare and contrast, again, what you have to figure out what's the best order those need to go in. You really need to make sure that your first 2 highlights are the best of the best, the most outstanding. You don't want to, just because you're expected to show a goal there, if you don't have any goals recorded on video, don't just show a goal. Don't just show you tapping a ball in a yard away from the goal, right? Like that doesn't show everything that you put in that list of highlights in that reel needs to be showing the coach what you can do, right? If the coach can see, oh, you can tap the ball in from 1 yard away, that's not really going to give you a ton of value, right? So really what you're wanting to show is like, how much am I showing in each of these plays, right? How much can a coach take away? Can they see that I'm moving off the ball? Can they see that I got into the right space? Can they see that I had the vision to set up the play ahead of time? All these things go into it for most sports. And this is what the coaches are going to be looking at. So this highlight reel at the end of the day should come, we're aiming for 3 to 5 minutes of just, recent highlights, a recent video that you have. That comes out to around the range of anywhere from 18 to 24. If you don't quite have that 18, you don't want to really drop your reel off too much. Just show the strongest 16, 17 that you have. If you can fill it up to 24 and show different aspects of your play, then you can do that. So step 5 is sharing your highlight reel and making updates in the future. So your highlight reel right now, you would not expect to be sharing that out in 6 months, right? If you've been training for 6 months and that's half a year, right? You should improve a decent amount in half a year. Coach is expecting you to improve. So if you are creating your highlight reel and you're 6 months down the road and your reel hasn't improved, you haven't gotten faster, stronger, all these things, you don't have an update to send to coach, that's not going to be the best way to continue a relationship with that recruiter or program. So one of the biggest challenges is that every athlete's video, it can't just be copy and paste, because based off of what happens in the games determines what you specifically are able to put in your video, right? And not everything is going to happen the same in every game. So it's all these things we mentioned before mixed together to make that real. So where athletes usually run into issues is just where they're not exactly knowing how to rank each play, and they don't know which highlights to help them and which highlights are going to hurt them. And a lot of times this turns into recruiters or programs seeing your video, watching the first 2 highlights, the first 5 highlights, whatever. Each recruiter is going to have a different system, right? They're going to say, I'll start with the first 2. If it hooks me, I'll watch the rest, or I'll watch it for the first 5. If that keeps me going, I'll watch for the first 10, and so on and so on. And so you want yours to be able to be watched all the way through, because you're showing value that you bring in each highlight that you have in your reel. Another major mistake I constantly see in highlight videos is the tools that people choose to make them. I've seen everything from athletes using just their general photos app on their phone to try to keep up with their highlights and organize and manage those, to editing software that they just have and they know it edits videos, but it's not really specific for sports. So it's hard to spotlight themselves, or it's hard to edit the film down to those clips. And then I've seen athletes use other sports apps that don't really give power to the athlete. So the athlete can't add in new video or video from a separate source, or combine other pieces. So it really hinders the athlete, because now they can't merge different sources of video together to keep the best updated content that they have. So you can get the job done in these tools that I just mentioned, but they're just not the most practical and they're not the easiest to use. You can definitely do those. Sometimes in those areas you can find a free option. But again, the reason these are free is because it's going to take a ton of time for you and not necessarily give you the best product that you're looking for at the end of the day. But I always tell people that that's something that you want to try and keep it free, then you can go for that. What you really want is you want to use a platform that allows you to add video from different sources, allows you to make updates, gives you an easy way to spotlight the athlete in the video. And then a place that's going to give you, instead of just giving you the tools, also gives you support, right? Allows you to ask questions. That's going to help you with some of the technical videos. So you just have someone in your corner that's helping you. So in summary, to create a highlight video, first record video of yourself, review your film and clip your highlights, choose the best highlights and put those into a highlight reel, and share and make updates as you progress. If you'd like any feedback on your current highlight reel, or if you need help starting your highlight reel, message us on any of our social media platforms or at sportsreels.com. And I hope that we can answer a lot of your questions in your video recruitment process.